Alright, here we go. Main event of the Big Brain Bouts number 113.
Let's get it on.
Round 1. Fight!
Here we go. Top right side of BlackRock. We are looking at the main base of our Korean Terran. It is an unholy hour for him over in Korea. And unlike Pick, he did not go to bed and wake up early. He stayed up all night like a proper warrior of the night. Assemble. Wow. As our Princess of the Moon would say. It's our Korean Terran. He's always been one of my absolute favorites to come out of Korea. Not just for his explosive gameplay, but I just love him as an individual. He's a really great guy and I will always be rooting for him. It is Bunny. Not to be confused with Danish Bunny, of course. Bottom left side of BlackRock, we are looking at the main base of our Italian Stallion. He was confused about the map pool. I obviously let him know a couple days ago that we would be playing on the TLMC maps. But like very often, I guess he didn't read my entire message. And he's finding it out now as we go. This is most likely the very first time that Reynor sees these maps, and it's definitely the first time he's playing on them. It is our Italian Stallion, BASILISK Reynor. The good news for Reynor is that the economies have not changed. So all he needs to do is figure out where he wants to expand, and then he can just start having a good time, run around with some Zerg links, set up some run bys, set up a couple of great surrounds, and just take it from there. This map does have a lot of rocks, guys. The man has made an observation as he has gone around the minimap, and he's like, what this map is missing is one more set of rocks. Yeah. I mean, Dustin Browder would probably agree. Hello, Duke. Statfest already played, yes. Statfest was our first series of the night. It was a good one. That's honestly one that's worth watching back. It was a little bit painful sometimes, but it was really entertaining. I am very happy with the performance of both Beast and Statfest. It was a good series. That's everything we look for on the Friday night, especially first series of the night. It's not all about the highest level of video gaming. It's about having some fun with this beautiful game. And Beast and Statfest definitely had fun. I feel like this is the first official series that Reynor is playing ever since he went through with his little PC upgrade. Seemed to be having some issues based on the chatter in the Twitch chat, but he said Starcraft is fine. League is not fine, but Starcraft is fine. Well, that's all he needs for tonight. Should be a very pleasant experience for Reynor to finally be able to play like late game ZV, mostly P, but maybe some ZVT as well, without the FPS dipping. It actually becomes really difficult to control your spellcasters properly if the FPS is not what it should be, or if you have to like split units quickly against stuff like a parasitic bomb, which could happen in ZVZ. It's really hard if the FPS is not what you're used to. This map has some cute grunts scattered all over the place. You need to actually have vision to see them. A little throwback to the Warcraft 3 days. Overall, obviously, this map is giving some Warcraft 3 vibes. I also feel like it's giving me some Stormgate vibes. That's what I said the other day. Because the trees, they really do look a lot like the Stormgate trees. That's all I remember from my 48 hours of Stormgate. The trees look familiar. The rest of the map, definitely Warcraft 3-ish. But the trees, those are Stormgate trees. Bunny opening things up, guys, in a pretty feisty manner. Double factory and some blue flame Hellions. There are grunts on this map, so obviously it is in the spirit of Warcraft 3. And the green tile set is really in the spirit of Warcraft 3. Here is the grunt. Zug zug. I look at this model and I remember my grunts getting surrounded by ghouls or footmen, being frustrated. If you guys see Todd stream the next time, you should ask Todd about sitting next to me at ESWC. So not EWC, but ESWC. Tournament that was ran in the early 2000s. Second most prestigious esports event of the year back then. The Electronic Sports World Cup. Not to be confused with EWC. My Grons were getting surrounded, I was not happy. And then Todd was not happy that he was sitting anywhere near me. Reynor has decided to knock down at least one set of rocks, guys. But at this point, Reynor has 5 queens and 20 links against 15 Hellions with Blue Flame. Bonnie's got factory number 3 and 4 on the production tab as well. You don't often see Hellions kill a hatchery. But if it was ever going to happen, this could very well be that moment. Bonnie has decided to just ignore the queens for now. Oh, Reynor left a gap. Mind your step, mind your gap. He does have a couple of links that can buy some time. I love that grenade. That's such a good grenade by Bonnie, as he bounces all those queens back further away from these Hellions. And this is a mega start for our Korean Terran. Reynor does have some mutas on the way and might eventually be able to clean this up. But we have to ask ourselves the age-old caster question. The caster question that I can only assume will be asked at BlizzCon later this year. Because if we're not asking that caster question, then what the hell are we doing over at BlizzCon and Starcraft 2? At what cost? The cost of a lot of lost mining time, 18 drones, and obviously our strategy being revealed. Reynor seems pretty dead here in game 1. You probably don't remember, Roddy, but you once did a thing where people could play against you, and I played against you in Warcraft 3 once. You beat me with catapults. That was live on Twitch, or was that in real life? Because I had a dude stop by a while ago that actually had a memory that's very near and dear to my heart, where we went to the Dutch version of a DreamHack called, what was it called back then? In NetGames, I think. NetGames? In Nieuwegein. And I played against 8 total noobs in Warcraft 3, but they did play a little bit. And I said, like, we can do like 1 against, it was either 1 against 6 or 1 against 7, 1 against 8. And one of these guys was like, what do you mean, man? You can never win like 1 against 6. I was like, I mean, I'm professional. I play this game like every day. And you guys obviously, like, you don't really know what you're doing. I was like, we can do it for fun. He's like, no, that's stupid. I was like, oh, let's just... And then his other friends were like, no, let's do it, man. Like, us against you. And then in the end, I played alone. I played with Undead, because I thought Undead would skill a bit better than Orc. Against 6 total plebs, mostly Counter-Strike players at this Dutch land. And we made a deal that if they would beat me, I would have to buy French fries and drinks for all of them. But if I beat them, they would have to buy me a chocomel, like chocolate milk, and French fries. And I played 1 against 6 and just ran around the map, and I killed each and every single one of them. And I could hear them shout at each other like, help me, he's in my base, help me, no, my hero died, no, my hero died, what are you doing? And one of these dudes actually stopped by my Twitch channel not too long ago, and he's like, do you remember that? I was like, oh, I definitely remember that. That was like one of my favorite Warcraft 3 memories. Just these 6 friends going at each other for not getting enough health. And I was just leveling and leveling. Like level 1 Archmage, level 1 Farseer. I get like level 6 Death Knight, level 5 Lich. I was having the time of my life. It was so fun. Reynor is trying to do the impossible here, and that is somehow turn this game around. And where it looked like it was kind of over, guys, it is starting to look a lot more playable for the Italian Stallion, who was down over 20 workers. But obviously the Mutas finding some damage, the Lingron by finding some damage, and Reynor getting some roaches out. No, Grubby was not one of them. That would not happen. That may have been the weekend actually where I did beat Grubby, as I did win the Dutch LAN. But the first place was a monitor. But it was like a €400 monitor. Like, this was serious esports gaming back in my days. I did bid. I don't know if that was that weekend though. I think that was actually a weekend where Grubby did not go to the Warcraft 3 tournament, because there was a big international tournament coming up. So he wasn't there, so I was just sitting there for 2 days, sleeping behind my PC, broken my back, but smacked a couple newbies, won a trophy, won a couple buckies, made my parents proud. And went home. Even though Grubby lived in Nieuwegein back then, he doesn't live there anymore, so don't worry, I'm not de-doxing him, but back then he did live in Nieuwegein. But I think he had a big tournament coming up, and he felt he would prepare better from home than going to the land for the entire weekend. So, as much as I liked Grubby, it was very nice for me when he didn't go there, because there was no stress. I couldn't really lose against anybody else. So I was like, cool, guaranteed victory. I'm a gamer, making money. The monitor was a different tournament. That was not a NetGames prize. NetGames always paid out cash, but it's like $300 or $400 as well to win it. The monitor back then I just used, right? That was a better monitor than the one that I had at home, so I just used it for many years. Reynor shoving a lot of roaches and ravages into the natural of Bunny. Bunny pulling a lot of SCVs and Hellbats body blocking. A few of these tanks, guys, they're so low, but they are surviving. One of them still alive. Finally, it goes down. What a messy game. What a spicy, explosive start between Reynor and Bunny. And this is everything that I was already talking about as we were waiting for this best of 5 to start. Like, these two stylistically, it's just fun. You have Reynor who likes to attack. You have Bunny who likes to attack. All hell breaks loose. 28 SCVs have gone down. 29 drones have gone down on the side of Reynor. So Bunny needs to repair his orbital, guys. His orbital is running awfully low on HP. That one tank that Bunny tried to move forward is actually going to get picked off as well. And I cannot believe that after the start that Reynor had, that he has been able to turn this one around. Yes, he had a couple of mutas out against the man with only Hellions. But still, it's one of my other all-time absolute favorite quotes of a Starcraft 2 event can come out. But still, Reynor looked like he was pretty freaking dead in this game. He's done an amazing job in giving himself more than a chance, but he's not there yet. Reynor is obviously very committed, very all-in. The tank count is 4, the cyclone count is 4. There is a planetary here. There's a couple Hellions that are going to try to keep these roaches and ravages away. That does get this tank too, that's massive. Because now it's just that planetary there. It's actually impressive, by the way, that Bunny still has 62 SCVs, despite the fact that he just lost so freaking many SCVs. Hello, Vegas. Happy Friday. In game 1 of our main event, Reynor snipes those two tanks as well, but there's another tank that's almost camouflaged on top of those depots. A bit harder to spot. This one muta, by the way, guys, is worth its weight in gold. That one muta gave Reynor the high ground vision that he needed to snipe that tank. That's pretty freaking cool. Not often do you see one muta come in clutch like that. What a game, man. What a game. What a slugfest. Bunny probably wondering, man, does he ever stop attacking? No. He's like you, Bunny. He doesn't stop. Speaking of Warcraft 3 and Warcraft 3 Micro, Reynor is now burrowing individual roaches to break those lock-ons and regenerate a little bit of HP. Happy would be proud. I saw Happy actually giving some props to the Starcraft 2 gamers the other day. And some Warcraft fans said that he was fast. And Happy said, if you think I'm fast, you should see the Starcraft guys. GG. Reynor turns this one around despite the fact that 15 Blue Flame Hellions were heading his way. He had 5 Queens and 12 Zerglings. Blue Flame Hellions enter the natural, kill drones, enter the main base, kill drones, 18 drones dead, Spire revealed, lost mining time. Pretty unbelievable turnaround by Reynor. Very, very, very well done. Bunny probably balding a little bit. This is not a usual graph for a ZVT with the Zerg winning. This graph doesn't make any sense. Reynor letting us know that he's very happy with the maps, by the way. Big did win his game, yes. What a gamer. What a gamer. Who made Black Rock, guys? Who's the map maker of Black Rock? Did Bunny mess up? Bunny definitely messed up more than once, but it's very impressive that Reynor turned it around. Like it goes two ways. Whenever you see a somewhat improbable comeback, it often goes two ways. Obviously, the player making the comeback has to do a lot of things right. And the player that was very far ahead and was supposed to win that game obviously made a slip-up or two. It's AVAX? Okay. AVAX. Here we go. Round 2. Sanctuary, the 3rd.
Round 2. Fight.
I mean, they're out, Rexy. We can count them out now. I know that they're capable of an epic comeback or two, but they're literally eliminated. We're down to 4. There's no more Madrid. We can count them out. Bottom left side, we are looking in the main base. Korean Terran, one of my favorites. Even if he didn't win 20 GSL code S's, I will always love him and always cheer for him. It is Bunny. PSG will be out soon too. I'll quote you on that actually. Can I do that Reddit thing? Remind me in 3 weeks? First match is on Tuesday, right? Tuesday or Wednesday? Like right before the end of... I just got a sub. I'm sub to Pig. Thank you. Somebody gifted me a sub to Piggy. That's very sweet. Top right side. We're looking at the main base of our Italian stallion. He is heading to Bologna for the weekend. And then he'll be back. Maybe we'll convince him to play in a weekly. If not this Monday, the following Monday. This is BASILISK Reynor taking the 1-0 lead. That was most certainly a science victory. If you do some normal number crunching, it doesn't really make a lot of sense for the Zerg to win that game. 200 buckies on the line for this best of 5. Obviously, if Reynor wins, he walks away with 200 bucks. The loser will still get 50. Same, of course, goes for Bunny. Big shout out to Basilisk for still putting up the 500 bucks every Friday. So it makes my Fridays a lot more fun. And I know a lot of the game is appreciated. Money actually scouting. Reynor maybe has developed like a tiny bit of a cheeky reputation. But I feel like in ZVT, Reynor doesn't do too many wild things. There was that small era, the Stara Zagora era, where Reynor felt very inspired by our Bulgarian Zerg. And he went for some proxy hatches and link floods and spinecrawler rushes, but... more often than not, I feel these days if you see Reynor be wild, it's in ZVZ. Sometimes ZVP, like a little 12 pull drone pull. If he feels that he can punish the Protoss that's not scouting. Yeah, Mushroom. MSRM. Reynor was loving the MSRM strategies. Bunny opening things up with a triple CC and 3 Rex. Triple CC, 3 Rex. Reynor meanwhile having an early evolution chamber with Carapace. Nice save by Reynor. Game 1 was on Central, by the way, so Reynor did have the ping advantage. And Game 2 is on West, so this is where Bunny will have the ping advantage. That could come in handy. This seems like a pretty nice map for Gabe to do some 8-rexing. Like straight through the center. Tanks high ground, low ground, around the corner. I feel like the 8-rex. Moja may very well be the best TVZ player on the planet on Sanctuary. Unless there's something they don't like about it. Sometimes the Terrans can be picky, but... if I look at how this map lays out, plays out, where people are likely to expand, I feel Moja might be 7k on this map. In TVZ exclusively. It's important for Reynor, by the way, to scout that this is a 3-rex opening. Having Carapace is nice, but if the Marine count is high enough, or if those Marines eventually get their hands on their own upgrades, it's not going to do that much.
Mutation.
I'm just kind of chuckling a little since I feel like for as long as I've been talking about Neil Mapples with Reynor, he has never been very enthusiastic. Even if I feel sometimes it actually got like a bit better. I think there were a few Mapples that were really bad for Zerg. There was this one with like Desert, was it Desert Oasis or whatever? Where like there was one that was very tough that we played in the DreamHack era. And then the next one was significantly better. And he's like, nah, it's even worse, man. I was like, what? No, like this can't be even worse. He's like, ah, it's even worse, man. It's all unplayable. And since that day, every single time we've had a new map, he's like, Terran map, mate. He's like, nothing but Terran maps. And I like how he just looks at the list of maps here and he's like, man, these are horrible for Zerg. Not a single Zerg map. And I was like, what do you mean? Like, we haven't played yet. We haven't seen anything. Can't be making up your mind that quickly. Yeah, serious firepower in all these Marines. I'm actually pretty worried for Reynor. But Reynor is obviously a bit of a magician, and Reynor does have a bunch of links with +1 carapace, and Bunny does not raise the depot. This is bad news. This is seriously bad news for Bunny. Now Bunny needs an amazing fight on the other side of the map, and he does win like the skirmish, but this is gonna hurt, guys. +1 melee carapace Zerglings, now 1-1 Zerglings. That was the wrong moment for Bunny to leave the door open. These are not links you can fight, mate. He's fighting with SCVs, but these are double upgraded Zerglings. This is something you can do maybe against 0-0 Zerglings, but against 0-1 links it's questionable, and against 1-1 links this is never a good idea. Especially not because those SCVs obviously don't have any armor upgrades yet. Poor Bunny. A single Zergling run by is indeed the nail in the coffin immediately. That's very unfortunate. This could have gone like perfectly fine for Bunny. I think if Bunny raises that depot and he has a couple of links on the right side of the wall off and he just pays attention to the marine micro on the other side of the map, could honestly be okay. Yeah. Starcraft is a brutal game. A single run by can be the end of a game immediately, and that was most certainly the case here. It's very sad for Bunny. It's not necessarily the build order. Like, I don't mind the build order. You can't really look at a game like this being decided by a run by and then say that the entire build is bad. Like, that is something that's not supposed to happen. And if he opens up with like Hellions and the Hellions are diving on the other side of the map and that many links run in, he's also in trouble. This is not build order related. This is just an executional error. Thank you, Melsky Loco, for the 29 months. Who made Washout, guys? Can I see that? I'm too late. Is this also an AVAX creation? No, this is this has to be Patches, right? I look at this and I feel Patches. Yes, Patches made this. Alright, guys, let's hope that this main event starts heating up a little. Game 1 was awesome, fun, exciting. Game 2, obviously, not the kind of stuff that we hope for on the Friday evening. It's great for Reynor and all the Reynor fans out there. Not so great for the neutral spectator.
Round 3. Fight.
Are there partial gold bases? There are. I actually casted a few games on this map a while ago. It was the NA Terran. Horizon. Top right side of a washout. We're looking at the main base of the man who is down 0-2, losing against GG Machine in the European RSL qualifier. But that was on the European server. That can happen on NA. We expect more of him. Game 2 a bit unfortunate. This is a Korean Terran, Bunny. I don't mind the build. I really think the build is fine. It's just you cannot be leaving the doors open against that many Zerglings of this man. Zerglings that already had carapace immediately and then got their hands on +1 melee as well throughout the run by. Unfortunately, that's just a game-ending mistake. That is how brutal it can be. It's like leaving your queen hanging in chess, right? Yeah, don't do that. Not too early at least. Not without a plan. Up to 1 map away from winning 200 buckies on the Friday night. Keeping it in with the family. This is BASILISK Reynor. Dominating night by the Zergies, guys. Honestly, if anything, these maps need to be a little more Terran friendly, if you ask me. All I see is Zergies winning. Thank you, Mob Mental, for the biddies. That's awesome. Too many Zerg friendly maps out there. Where is Koningsdag? I totally forgot when Koningsdag even is. Is it like on the 30th of April? Is it the final day of April? I've got no plans. When I was young, I loved it. It was one of like my favorite days of the year. But don't think I'll be doing anything. Maybe I'll check out whatever is happening in the little village over here. But the days of going to the city and partying, those are gone. Too old. Can't do it. Reynor has taken a very interesting quote-unquote third base, if we can call it the third base. This is because of the partial gold. That's a lot of mineral patches, no? 3, 6, 9? So 9 mineral patches? And 3 of them are gold? Imba? That's crazy. Thank you, Ari. Dian! I hope for Bunny that he picks up on this. Because otherwise Bunny might be seriously misreading this, thinking that this is some sort of a weird 2-base opening. And if you're from the same region as the likes of Shin, you may be reading into this as a potential like Ling, Queen, Knight is all in, or something funky with a very quick lair. And that's not what it is at all. Terran can lift it. You mean in the very beginning of the game? I think that takes too long now. I'm sure that someone is going to do it and make a YouTube video out of it. I don't think it's good. But it's obviously something you could do for fun. Can you meme with it? Yes. Is it going to be good at the highest level? No. Like Habitation Station was pure gold. And obviously on those days the meta was very different. It was actually very good for a while. That's cute with the Hellions on the low ground. We should see that creep. We should see the creep. We know there is creep. I may hope that we are aware of it. I'm very surprised. Is this one of these moments where he saw it but he didn't see it? I'm gonna follow Bunny's camera for a little bit, guys. I really don't think he saw it. And that can obviously have something to do with the time zone that Bunny is playing these games from. We know that the Koreans don't mind staying up all night, but eventually you're going to notice it a little that they're going to miss a few things that they shouldn't be missing. And that could come down to raising the depot when you need to raise the depot. Or right now seeing a little bit of creep. He hasn't taken a single look at it. I really don't think he noticed. And it's also, guys, sometimes it's a little bit hard to spot like a tiny bit of purple at the bottom side of your screen, as Reynor is gearing up for a very big attack. And I'm worried for Bunny, man, because Bunny just has no clue. And this is not the kind of stuff that I think he's expecting. I'm very worried. We need bunkers and we need tanks. Maybe some Widow Mines would be nice. It's gonna take a long time. Bunny has thrown down his scans. I hope he can start building. Yeah, he knows. He sees the Roach Warren, sees the gases. But what he doesn't know is that these units are already here. He's actually floating over the orbital. So he's dropping the tech lab. He wants to build tanks, but he thinks he's got all the time in the world to build tanks, and he doesn't. The roaches are already here. Bunny actually gonna go forward. It's kind of crazy. Jumps on a couple of roaches, but here are the Zerglings, and there are a lot of Zerglings we need to pick up, I think. I know it's hard to pick up because then you lose a lot of DPS. Couple of corrosive balls will connect with SCVs. There's a lot of Zerg. Bunny needs way more firepower than he's currently working with. The SCV micro has been quite decent. Links do not get into the main base yet. Maybe we can temporarily pick up. I don't know if we want to. We definitely cannot collect any corrosive balls. Might be doable. There's one of these is doable at what cost? Cancels a Ravager, kills a Ravager. We have a few more Marines show up. We're down to 4 Marines, guys. Somehow we have a wall off. The depots have been raised. We need to repair. Maybe call down for depot. He killed every single Ravager. Wow, keeping all these links out is massive. I mean, yes, we're down 12 workers, but it's triple orbital. Raising the depots when you wouldn't even really think about raising the depots when there are Zerg units all over your natural. That's so big for Bunny. Most certainly keeps him alive. The bad thing is just that he still... Alright. Maybe he's going to see it now. I'm going to take a little look at Bunny's point of view, but Reynor has so many Zerglings underneath that medevac. Yeah, Reynor has plans for the weekend. He is driving to Bologna tonight. When I told him that he would start 1 hour later, he said it's not ideal, but it's fine. He's like, I'll do it for you. Well, in this case, it was for Piggy. Definitely for Piggy. Piggy walked away with 125 buckies. So 58 drones. What will Reynor do now that he has made it up to lair tech? He has dropped the Baning Nest. Obviously, Reynor does have the ability to crank out so many drones. This is going to be on 4 hatcheries soon. And this base is just the largest base, man. It's a base that Big Gabriel would approve of. 9 mineral patches, of which 3 are gold. That's better than a regular full gold. And obviously way better than a regular 8 blue mineral patch. That's honestly kind of an insane base to get your hands on. I don't know if Bunny has played enough games on this map or has even looked at it and has counted mineral patches. Yeah, you mean you can destroy this tower. The cooling tower, but it's a little late, no? Also, how on earth is Bunny gonna get units here to kill this cooling tower? It's kind of like saying, like, yeah, Bunny can also have like 8 Banshees here with Hyperflight Rotors and Cloak. And gone down the hatchery. Yeah, he could. But he doesn't have 8 Banshees. And I don't think he's gonna get units in range of this cooling tower anytime soon, but... I hope for Bunny he can win a fight and then maybe he can capitalize on it. Maybe Reynor will accidentally use some Banelings to blow up the cooling tower. What if Reynor doesn't know, guys, and he kills his own mineral patches? Now it's too late. I think it's been too late for a little while. Obviously, if he would have just seen it immediately with the Reaper Heli and Helene, he would have killed 3-4 drones. Reynor wouldn't have been able to mine from it for a while. But hey, in the end, Bunny survived. And that is all that matters. And if Bunny survives and he gets a lot of Marines and tanks out, he can obviously be a gamer. Reynor has fired up Hive Tech at 20 drone advantage. 1100 minerals a minute more. Gas income is pretty identical. He doesn't call them like that, Avex. The man is just repeating things that he read. Those words were not brought to you by Dreams in Dust. Don't you worry. Reynor sitting on over 1,000 minerals. I have a tiny spoiler for you guys. I don't want to say much, but I actually watched Reynor reveal something from the past, and he was chuckling quite often at himself, voting a few too many resources. Wondering what he was doing. Great target fight there on those Banelings on the side of Bunny, but Reynor with another run by. Lings 1-1, at least bio units have 1-1, but it's so painful for Bunny, who's got so much supply, caught up on the other side of the map, loses 12 SCVs. We are working with 5 racks and 3 bases. Maybe counting down the seconds until he can get his hands on 2-2. Meanwhile, Reynor already has Hive Tech. Does not, oh my god, there's so many Lings, and now it's Banelings in the mix as well. It's gonna be impossible for Bunny to make progress. It's gonna be difficult for him to retreat as well. I hope he's paying attention. He is. It is, I think, the best call to immediately give up on this staging ground. Because the longer he waits, the more impossible it would be to reinforce. The more likely it is that Reynor is gonna get a Dream Surround. But Reynor might still get a bit of a Dream Surround, as there are Lings and Banes coming in from different angles. And the Italian Stallion on his new computer looks fired up on the Friday evening. Fired up to make it to Bologna for the weekend. That's a city in Italy, by the way, for people who have no idea what the hell Bologna is. I'm gonna mediocre. That's a lot of medevacs, but that's a lot of medevacs. Alright. We're gonna go in a couple different angles. Yes, 12 medevacs. Hmm. 103 army supply against 103 army supply. Reynor continues to find damage with the Ling run-bys. Bunny does throw down a scan. Reynor was a little bit late on the adrenal glands, but he does fire it up now. Hive has been done for a little while. This is, it's going to be very, very difficult for Bunny. Nice pickup this time. It's a real shame for Bunny that he lost the game with a ping advantage in the way that he did. Obviously, there wasn't much for him to take advantage out of, other than we should have raised the depot. Bunny throws down a scan, at least gets to cancel one of the hatcheries. Ultraless Cavern is close to finishing up. Bunny does not have a composition that can deal with ultras in the slightest. But perhaps Bunny does have a minor opportunity to find damage before ultras are out. Nice hot pickup this time around. I mean, we can kill ultras without kindness plating. We just cannot kill ultras with kindness plating. That is going to be absolutely impossible. Couple big tank shots. Bunny taking the army supply advantage. We are incredibly committed. We are as all in as we can. Well, he drops the 4th base. I find that surprising when we're on 47 SCVs. We don't really have a transition. I don't really agree with it either. I think that Bunny should just be sending it and pray that we can take a goated fight before Ultras with Kindness are out. Because once these Ultras are out, there is no light at the end of the tunnel for Marine Tank. It's not going to do anything. But it's a large map and it's so difficult to step on creep. Baneling count is 28. 110 Zerglings with Adreno at this point. I'm afraid, guys, that it's a clean sweep. The Italian Stallion looking good. Bit of an unfortunate series for our GSL Code-S Terran Bunny. We're still going to try, obviously, to make something of this game. And perhaps we have taken out a very important base. Those were great connections. Just so worried for these Ultras. Oh my god, there's so many links as well. Does Bunny have a decent amount of Marines left at home? Good tank shots as well. That's a lot of links dying. Bunny actually finding a couple of victories. Perhaps it is not totally over yet. We are on 82 Marines. 82 Marines against soon 6 Ultras with kindness plating and +3 armor. We have no Ghost Academy. We have no additional starport. I mean, these Ultras, guys. These are going to be the most feisty, powerful Ultras that we have seen in a little while. You can have 300 Marines here and you're still just not winning. Even though we're pushing it. That's so many Marines. Yes, 300 Marines. Not a single Baneling keg. That's so many Marines. That's ridiculous. One Ultra does die. Reynor counting down the seconds. He has +3 carapace and kindness plating. Good luck, have fun with 300 Marines. There is a parasitic bomb in the middle of all these medevacs too. that was so many Marines. Reynor's going to be very happy that he actually decided to go for Ultras. The first part went good, but you know, when it's like 4 or 5 Ultras, it feels like you can't really do much. One Ultra gets transfused and all these Marines do chew their way through. Reynor was waiting for the pickup and he actually keeps 3 Ultras on the low ground. A full HP Ultra then. A full HP Ultra is good enough and you cannot unload there, Reynor. Or Bunny. I mean, the fact that we've killed 3 of them is pretty impressive. We did lose 10 tanks and 160 Marines in this game. We are still dropping. We are starting to sprinkle in a couple of Marauders. And I would say with a few Marauders, there's hope. 1 medevac. Oh my goodness, that's 4 medevacs going down. 2 of them having some units inside of it. It was a cool fight. To keep it in the term of the Warcraft 3 spirit. Felt like there was healing rain being casted on all those Marines. There were so many of them and there were so many beams coming from the skies. Unfortunately, once that Ultra count goes up, a bit of an unfair fight. 3 Queens will gun down a medevac. They'll gun down the second medevac as well. Reynor is swarming Bunny, his potential 4th base on the other side of the map. Bunny is going to head in a couple of lives, but these are obviously not going to be lives with advanced ballistics. It feels like this one is all over. A bit of an unfortunate series for Bunny, where I think game 1 is obviously the one that he'll be going over again and be like, how the hell did I not win that? I had such a good start. All I needed to do was not die, and even at the very end, Reynor was obviously all in with the roaches and ravages of a weak economy. And this game, Bunny missing, where Reynor took his 3rd, obviously severely hurt him. Had a good hold early on, raising those depots was nice, but this is an unfair fight. We do have some lips, and lips will deal damage to Ultras, but by the time that Bunny cleans all of this up, he's going to be down to single-digit SCVs. 7 of them. There's not a whole lot to it. Nice hold on the ramp to the main. And still battling with a couple of Marines and a few Marauders on the other side of the map. But there are Banelings here as well. Bunny on move command knows that this one is all over. GG's. Thank you for watching. Reynor gets another W on the Friday night in the BASILISK Big Brain Bouts. 3-0 over the man who once upon a time knocked him out of Code-S. The man who just qualified for Code-S. And I'll definitely be rooting for Bunny in the upcoming season. Outside of rooting for Trigger, of course. Goes without saying. Still pretty fun series. Obviously, game 2 was a bit of a shame. Nice strategy, at least by Reynor. Obviously, solid build order choice, but I wish there was a bit more to it. Bring back Steadfast and Beast. We can always run that back. Maybe on one of our special days in May, on the 8th of May or on the 23rd of May, maybe I can convince some gamers that played in the Big Brain Bouts to run it back in a little bonus best of 3. as not part of the BBB. Even though the 8th of May is a Big Brain Bouts day, but we'll see what we can do.